This is Larry Jordan, the host of the Digital Production Buzz. The following interview is an excerpt from a recent program. To hear the entire program, visit digitalproductionbuzz.com. Kristen Nedopak is the creator of the Geekie Awards that honors gaming, comics, and indie film content. She's also a host of her own YouTube channel and has recently won Best Host at the IWATV Awards. She's also on the Geekie panel at this year's San Diego ComicCon. Hello, Kristen. Welcome.
Hi, guys. How are you doing?
We are talking to you. How can we not be doing well?
Well, that's good.
Kristen, what are the Geekie Awards? I have to figure that out first.
Oh, no. They told me that you were a nerd. I'm just kidding. I mean, is that true? I don't know. Are you into comic books at all, or
I am.
Fantasy movies?
Michael is a child at heart. So.
I am, but I can't get a ticket. Nobody can get a ticket. If you don't get a ticket within 4 minutes of the tickets being sold, you don't go to Comic-Con.
Oh, my gosh. You know what? I know. I got mine in about 60 seconds, speaking of that. It was tough.
Yeah, if you don't have your own panel, you don't get into Comic-Con. It's so tough.
But, Mike,
and today they announced, by the way, just today that the Comic-Con is staying in San Diego through 2018.
I think it would make a difference if you had a costume, though.
Yeah, well, even if you wear a costume, you don't get in.
No, you gotta be really high up on the celebrity food chain or paying somebody to get into Comic-Con.
Exactly. It's a tough show to get into.
It is. I'm actually going there next week. But to answer your question about the Geekie Awards, that's my show. It's not as crazy as Comic-Con. It's a 3-year show, and it's an award show for geeks. So you had mentioned it. It's a show celebrating independent creators in all these different industries: gaming, fashion, art, comics, you name it, we cover it. And also, it's a family reunion of sorts where all the geeks get to come together and celebrate. And this year, it's going to be a 2-day event. So we're going in the direction of something crazy like Comic-Con, but we're not a convention.
Is it just on the web, or is it a live attend event kind of thing?
No, it's actually it has been in the past, a live attended event. So everyone at the event has a great time, partying. They get to see everything in person while we shoot the broadcast, and then we live stream it internationally. And this year, we're going to be announcing a new venue in about a week, and just after Comic-Con, and we're announcing a venue that holds about 4,000 people instead of a few hundred. So it's definitely going to be a destination.
Wow, 4,000 people. And Mike, you were complaining about getting...
Maybe I can get into that.
Kristen,
hey, you just let me know. All you need to do is be on my list.
Yeah. Now that I know you, I can just send you an email. Hopefully I can get in.
Have you announced the city this is going to be in?
It is going to be in Los Angeles. Last year it was in Hollywood. And this year it's going to be in Santa Monica. And then we're going to announce where it's going to be in a few weeks. So I can't say anything more, but it's definitely going to still be in the Los Angeles area.
And have you picked a date yet?
We are going to also be announcing that, but I will tell you it's going to be in mid-October.
Awesome.
Mid-October this year, somewhere in Santa Monica, at a place that holds 4,000 people. I think we can start to narrow it down pretty closely.
Uh-oh, you can't tell anybody. Tell anybody.
Kristen, do you wear costumes?
I do. I don't wear them at Comic-Con because it's too crazy, but I have my own cosplay that I build. Usually I'm wearing something fantasy, like fairies or something along those lines. I have a unicorn costume that I do that's pretty cool.
Yeah, see, that's what
a unicorn costume. I can't see you.
I can see me as a unicorn, yeah.
Well, other people do superheroes. I'm a big fantasy person. I'm a big Brian Sprout fairy person. So we all have our own thing that we love to do. But I usually make my costumes a lot more original and less, a certain character. So that was the one thing that I just love.
The one thing that I love about Comic-Con, and I've never actually been there, but I've talked to people who have gone there, and I have also read all the articles, seen all the YouTube videos, that everybody who goes to that show is happy. They are happy. It is it is though that this strangeness, this geekiness, this part of them that doesn't fit in with their lives, their normal lives, they come together at Comic-Con and they are happy, and I think it's a wonderful thing.
It is, and it's interesting because I'm in the Los Angeles area, and everyone I hang out with is a geek, and so it is actually part of their daily lives. They're making shows about geeks. We're all creators. I'm making my show, and so I think it is unfortunate if people are living somewhere where that's not accepted and they have to come Comic-Con, but I know that is the case for a lot of people. But we're growing. We're like just such a huge audience in the world, and I think that we're opening everybody else up to how cool it is to be into some of this stuff.
You, as you say, you rule the world.
We do.
Kristen,
we do.
Kristen, why did you decide to create the Geekie Awards in the first place?
Well, like I said, I'm actually an independent creator myself, and so hold on a second. Somebody's going to go. I'm actually an independent creator myself, and so there was a point where a few years ago I had been submitting my work to festivals, and people weren't really looking at it seriously or taking it seriously because it was geek or it was about video games. My YouTube channel is very much about video games. Now, however, that's not the case. We've got Twitch and everybody's video gaming. But at the time, I just looked around and I said, you know what? There is nothing out there for independent creators that are really making web series and doing art and doing fashion outside of these comic conventions and outside of these conventions and even something like Unique LA. And so I decided to make a show for geeks and for those independent creators because there was nothing like that out there. We've got the Oscars, we've got the Emmys. You really have to be at a certain level to be on a broadcast award show. And so that's sort of what spawned the idea is just looking around and saying, well, there's no award show for me. So I know there's not an award show for a huge chunk of people that are doing the same thing I'm doing. And so that's sort of how I created the show. And of course I need to make it geeky because that's my thing.
Well, one of the other things you do is you host your own YouTube channel.
I do. Kristen Nedopak, yeah.
What does it take to be a successful YouTube host?
Well, you are not just a host, number one. Most of the people on YouTube have to be producer, director, editor, host, on camera, off camera. They're doing everything. I think very few people on YouTube are people that haven't gotten to a certain point yet. If they've got billions of followers, they might be able to hire people. But usually, to be successful, you really have to be able to do it all yourself, at least at first. And I think for the most part, especially for this generation, which I love, is you have to be very authentic and very genuine to who you are and what you love, because the next generation is really looking at you, whereas opposed to hosting back in the day, maybe, in the 90s or even the, 2000s, people could just kind of be awesome on camera and stand there and talk about anything. Well, now, the world really wants to know who you are as a person. And if they don't see your personality, they're probably not going to watch you. And so it's kind of a combination of those two things on YouTube.
But is it a personality, or is it sort of building on outrageousness? I haven't seen your show. I do apologize, but is it?
Yeah.
There are a lot of hosts that just try to be outrageous as opposed to be themselves. And I'm just curious if that's true.
Yeah. I think it's a combination because I think both of those have an audience. And I've definitely seen that online where it's just somebody that's, screaming at the camera and they got an audience. And maybe that is them, who knows? But they've come up with a shtick that works, and that's how they're building their audience. So I think it's kind of a combination of the two of those or either one of those, where you just kind of have to do what you love and put it out there, and do what you think is going to work and put it out there and see what happens.
And obviously it's happened pretty well for you.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, thank you.
What do you recommend for building a YouTube audience?
Consistency. I would say, first and foremost, you have to be consistent. If you're going to be giving somebody anything, it's like a TV show. If we saw the first episode of Game of Thrones and then they didn't do another episode for a few years, we probably wouldn't be watching the show, even though we love it. You know, it's the same thing as the networks. They're consistent. They have every single week at the same time. And so most of the people that are really successful are putting videos out all of the time. I would have to say the second thing that you could try, and this is kind of what I did, is play up something that already exists. My channel is about video gaming, so it's about me playing video games. So it's my personality talking about games and making fun of games, which is kind of what I do. But I'm still talking about an entity that already exists and has a huge fan base. And that's kind of how I started to build my fan base, was to pick something that was already out there and then sort of make fun of it. And it just kind of blew up.
So when you talk about consistency, do you have to put up something once a week, once a month, how often do you have to?
You know, there are definitely people that put stuff up several times a week. Some do it every single day. Some do it several times a week. And some do it once a month. I think it really depends on the production quality and the production time that it takes for you to put something together. But it really is up to you. I think the going rate is every 2 weeks is a great thing. Like if you wait a month, it might be a little few and far in between. But 2 weeks is generally the number.
We've got a live chat that's going on, and Grant has a question. He's asking, so the big question is, how do you make money at this, or is it just a love of doing the project?
If we're specifically talking about YouTube, the Geekie Awards is a completely different beast because that's not a YouTube channel. But if we're specifically talking about YouTube, again, these people are constantly posting videos, and then they usually get a partnership with YouTube or a partnership with a multi-channel network or a company that helps them get as much ad revenue as possible off those ads. And so if you think about it, if somebody has been on YouTube for a few years and they post videos several times a week, all of those videos just start to accrue more views and more views and more views. And sooner or later, they're living off of that because they sort of have like this entire network on their channel on videos that are constantly getting ad money on it. So that's basically how people on YouTube make money, is ad sales. And ad sales, you can monetize anything on your channel through YouTube, Google Ads.
Are you a fan of any particular person out there who is doing something maybe similar to what you're doing?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't know if anybody's doing anything.
No, you don't. Yeah, you want to say no, you're not. You're the best.
No. I actually am a huge fan of Kobe Turner. He's hilarious. He's probably one of the first YouTube stars I saw. He is on the outrageous side, but he's just so funny. And I remember, thinking, oh, he's really crazy, but he's just talking about video games. And, that's what I want to do. But there's so many channels out there. I can't even name all of them. The Fine Brothers are amazing. T and Peel are probably my favorite people online. And now, obviously, they went to TV. But
right.
I'd have to say that they're my ultimate, gods of online content.
Yeah, well, I love them, too. That's for sure.
Yeah, they're hilarious.
What are you going to be covering when you go to Comic-Con? Are you heading up a panel, or are you just participating? And if so, what's the main subject you're going to be talking about?
Yeah, I actually have a panel Saturday night at 8 p.m., crazy time slot, and it's called Spark, and I'm actually participating on it as myself. It's not for the Geekie Awards, and it's about women that are creating content and women that are creating award-winning content out there, mostly online, but some of these ladies are actresses and film directors and TV personalities as well. But it's mostly for people creating content. The panel is filled with women, but it is also for men. It's just for anyone to come and talk about, the same question that Grant had, how do I do this? How do I do this? We're really very much about show and tell and letting people in on how we became successful and how they can in turn become successful doing the same thing.
Do women have to do something different to be successful in this, or do they just need to work hard like guys do?
You know, at the end of the day, everyone just needs to work hard. I think we are definitely, there's still some industries out there that are catching up, but I definitely think, especially in the digital world, it's pretty equal online, and it really is about, being authentic. And I've definitely never had an issue with that. You know, I had a little bit of an issue working in corporate back in the day, but if we're talking about doing online content, I really do think it's about being unique and being authentic to yourself, and then people fall in love with you no matter who you are.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah, thank you. It's exciting times.
It is exciting times.
Where can people go to learn more about your Comic-Con session for those that are going to the event?
Yeah, well, we are on Facebook. If you Google Spark, S-P-A-R-K, you'll probably find it, or you can find it in the Comic-Con program or online. They have all of their panels listed. I forgot what room it's in, but it is Saturday at 8 p.m. And so if you guys are there, I would definitely love to, come check it out.
Sorry,
and say hi to me.
We can't get a ticket.
I know. Sad. Well, you can come to the Geekie Awards. How about that?
Okay.
And for people like Mike who can't get a ticket to Comic-Con, where can they go on the web to learn more about you and your programs?
Absolutely. You can go to my website. It's KristenNedopak.com. But the majority of the time I'm on social media, and so Twitter is a big thing for me, at Nedopak on Twitter. And then, of course, you can go to the Geekie Awards website and Facebook and Twitter, and it's all the Geekie Awards, Geekie.
The website also is the Geekie Awards, all one word. You can see it on your screen. Kristen Nedopak is the creator and CEO of the Geekie Awards. Kristen, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, guys.
Bye,
Thanks for having me.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.